The second set of ratios, which were the turnover or the activity ratios, they tell us about how efficiently is the business running its operations. So now we come to the third set of ratios, which is the profitability ratios. So again, you go by the literal meaning. Profitability ratios are related to the profit earning capacity or profitability of the business. How profitably is the firm running its operations, is running its core activities. Under that, the first and foremost profitability ratio that we do is the gross profit ratio. So all of you have heard about gross profit. We have calculated gross profit when we were doing final accounts, and in the trading account, if you get the balancing figure on the debit side, if your expenses are lower than your revenue, you get a gross profit. And here I am talking about direct expenses and direct incomes of the firm. So first let's write the formula. Gross profit upon net sales into 100. Okay, so which means the gross profit ratio you're getting in percentage terms. Obviously, a high gross profit would be good for the firm. So higher is the ratio, better it is for the firm. Coming to the calculation of gross profit, I am writing down this. All of you know कि trading account में अगर balancing figure left hand side पे आती है, it means your revenues are greater than the cost. So formula for gross profit is net sales minus cost of goods sold. And how do we calculate net sales? Net sales are your total sales, which is cash, plus credit sales minus sales return. Okay. Coming to the next term used, which is cost of goods sold. It is opening stock plus purchases plus direct expenses minus the closing stock, and you get the cost of goods sold. First, all the terms should be clear to you, which are the terms we are using in the ratio. So this is how we calculate the gross profit. Net sales is also known as revenue from operations. So even if this term is given in the question, don't get confused. It means from operating activities here, from operations. This means that we are given the value of net sales. Okay. So if this is clear, should we move to the questions then? If there's any doubt, all these values are being derived from your trading account.
And what's that COGS like?
Cost of goods sold.
Okay, ma'am.
So for generating revenue, how much cost have you incurred? Okay, all the direct cost related to the production activities. Now, benefit of gross profit being high is that if gross profit is high, you can cover all the expenses you are making in the profit and loss account. That means you can cover all the expenses which are indirect in nature: office and administrative expenses, selling and distribution expenses, your bad debts, everything can be covered if you have a high gross profit. So that is why higher the gross profit ratio, better it is for the firm. Okay, let's move to some questions on the same. The first question is a direct question. Just have a look here. You are given gross profit. You need to calculate the gross profit for 2014 and 2015. You are directly given both the values. Please solve. Tell me how much is the answer in percentage terms. First will be 40,000 divided by 1,60,000. So how much is the answer coming to?
25%,
Yes,
Even
25. And then it is?
30%.
30%.
Yes, absolutely right. First is 25%, second is 30%. So you can, when you are concluding the answer, you can say that there has been a 5% increase in the gross profitability of the business from the year 2014 to 2015. So gross profit has increased by 5% over a period of 1 year. So this shows that the firm is operating efficiently. Okay.
एक्सक्यूज मी मैम।
हाँ जी बोलो माधव।
मैम आपने फ्राइडे को बताया था जो रेवेन्यू फ्रॉम ऑपरेशन होता है वो होता है क्वांटिटी सोल्ड इनटू कॉस्ट पर आइटम माइनस
हाँ
सेल्स रिटर्न।
हाँ।
और इसमें लिखा है कि रेवेन्यू फ्रॉम ऑपरेशन होता है नेट सेल्स, बट नेट सेल्स तो हमारा कैश।
नेट सेल्स क्या होता है? सेल्स माइनस सेल्स रिटर्न ही तो होता है नेट सेल्स।
मैम दोनों एक ही चीज है।
हाँ जी,
ओके
सेल्स माइनस सेल्स रिटर्न।
ओके
And this sales include both cash and credit sales. कैश एंड क्रेडिट। अब सेल्स की वैल्यू कैसे आती है? क्वांटिटी इनटू प्राइस पर यूनिट।
यस मैम।
ठीक है, so it is one and the same thing.
ओके मैम।
Okay. Okay, let's move to the next question. So a bit indirect, start solving, then I'll help you with it. Yes, has anyone got the answer?
Ma'am,
Yes,
ma-
Nancy.
ma'am, is it 92.5%?
92 तो बहुत ज़्यादा है.
Ma'am, is it 20%?
Yeah, the answer is 20%. Nancy, आप चेक करो. 92% बहुत ज़्यादा gross profit है. Not possible unless and until you are selling your products at hugely inflated prices.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so please recheck. Answer is 20% for the others also. And take 2 minutes more, otherwise, I'll help you solve the question. Has anyone else been able to solve the question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Tanya, you're getting the same answer?
Ma'am.
Okay. Okay, if others are finding it difficult to solve, just pay attention on the screens. Now, in the gross profit, okay, good. Others can also by that time complete who are not able to comprehend, please try and understand. Now you're given that the cash sales are 25% of the total sales. Now we know that to solve the gross profit ratio, one thing we need is gross profit and the second thing we need is net sales. And net sales are your total sales minus the sales return. Now, cash sales are 25% of the total sales, which are again not given in the question. If I take the value of total sales as X, then my cash sales will be 25% of X. So my cash sales will be 0.25x or 1 by 4th of the total sales, which then means my credit sales, because your total sales are cash plus credit sales will be 3 by 4x or 0.75. Value of credit sales is already given in the question. So 3/4 of the total sales is 6 lakh. So how much will be the value of total sales? You will get, how much is the value coming to?
8
8
lakh.
lakhs.
8 lakhs. So we have got one part of the formula. Net sales, since no sales return are given, we assume them to be 0. So net sales, total sales is equal to 8 lakh rupees. Now the second thing we need in the question is the gross profit. Gross profit is your I'll just insert a blank page here. Okay, wait. Okay, so gross profit is net sales minus the cost of goods sold. We already have the net sales with us. What we need is the cost of goods sold, which is opening stock plus purchases minus plus direct expenses, if any given in the question, minus the closing stock. Now what you are given is that the purchases are 6,90,000, excess of closing stock over opening stock, that is closing minus opening, is 50,000, while in the formula we need opening minus closing, so signs will be reversed, and you're getting 6,40,000 as the cost of goods sold. Please understand this step. आपको अपने फॉर्मूला में ओपनिंग माइनस क्लोजिंग चाहिए, आपको क्वेश्चन में क्लोजिंग माइनस ओपनिंग दिया, तो मैंने फॉर्मूला वहां पर रिवर्स कर दिया। -50,000 अब हम करेंगे। Once you get the cost of goods sold, you can easily calculate the gross profit, which will be 8 lakh minus 6 lakh 40,000. That comes to 1 lakh 60,000. So now you put the values in the formula, you get a gross profit of 20%. So comparatively indirect question, but it is working only on the formula part. Any question in this? Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So one more question, one last question from gross profit ratio. Again, a bit indirect. It was somewhat different, so I have included here. Just yes, this is the question on your screens. Read, try and understand. Same things. We need gross profit. We need net sales to solve this question. Start solving the question.
मैम कैश सेल्स के नीचे क्या लिखा है?
कहाँ पर बेटा? यहाँ पर रेशियो में?
हाँ, नहीं, दूसरी साइड, कैश सेल्स के नीचे
परचेजेस।
ओके ओके। Ma'am, is it again 20%?
No, this time it
It's
is
coming 10.
10%.
It's
Yes, Tanya.
10%.
10%.
10%.
10%.
Okay,
Yes.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Yes. Rest of you also solve fast. Similar methodology you have to follow here also. I'll just clarify a few points if they seem to be a bit indirect. Cash sales given और आपको रेशियो कैश और क्रेडिट का दिया हुआ है 1:3 which means if cash sales are 25,000 then your credit sales will be 75,000 and your total sales will be 1 lakh, but you are also given return outward here. So sorry, that would be a purchase return, so that doesn't matter here. Your net sales or total sales will come to rupees 1 lakh. This is the denominator you need. Next you need the numerator, which will be your cost of goods sold. For that you need the opening stock plus purchases plus direct expenses minus closing stock. आपको क्वेश्चन में पहले ओपनिंग स्टॉक और क्लोजिंग स्टॉक में डिफरेंस दिया हुआ. डिक्रीज इन इन्वेंट्री मीन्स that your closing stock is lower than the opening stock. Opening minus closing, ये और ये टर्म आपको 10,000 दी हुई है. Next you need to add the purchases. Purchases you need to add the credit purchases, which means 60,000 plus 15,000, 75,000 less return outward, which is your purchase return 73,000. I repeat myself, net purchases will be cash purchases plus credit purchases minus purchase return. That gives you a value of 73,000. उसके बाद आपके बचे हुए direct expenses. So carriage inwards and wages. Salaries are indirect expenses, won't be considered here. 90,000 आपका cost of goods sold आ गया. इसका मतलब last element gross profit is net sales minus cost of goods sold 10,000. सारी वैल्यूज आ गई, फॉर्मूला में पुट करो. You get the answer as 10,000 divided by 1 lakh into 100, which gives you 10% as the answer. So this is how you can get an indirect question on gross profit ratio, and you need to solve it in this manner. Okay, we move to the next profitability ratio now. अगर एक रेशियो प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी की ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट है, then second will be on the basis of net profit. So your second ratio is your net profit ratio. Again, net profit ratio will be net profit upon net sales into 100. परसेंटेज में आंसर आएगा. Higher the net profit ratio, better it is for the firm. How do you calculate the net profit? You have done this in the P&L account. So it is gross profit minus all the indirect expenses and plus all indirect incomes. What all comes under indirect expenses? Your selling, distribution, administrative expenses, depreciation, bad debts, ये सारे आपके इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेंस हैं। इनडायरेक्ट इनकम्स क्या है आपकी, से आपकी कोई डिविडेंड इनकम हो रही है, कोई इंटरेस्ट इनकम हो रही है, आपके बिजनेस ने कहीं पैसा लगाया हुआ है and you are earning something from that, say there have been any bad debts recovered, all this will come under the indirect incomes. So higher the ratio, better it is, because it shows the overall operational efficiency of the firm. Net sales has the same meaning. Your cash plus credit sales minus sales return. Okay. So while your gross profit ratio was giving you an idea of how efficiently the purchase and sale operations are being run in the business, your net profit ratio gives you an overview of how overall operations of the firm are being run, with higher net profit ratio signifying higher operational efficiency. Okay, let's take a couple of questions on net profit ratio. This is the first question. Direct question. Net profit ratio is equal to net profit divided by net sales into 100. So see what is the answer coming to.
Ma'am, the value is not, it is cut. The picture is cut.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll just write down the values. Wait.
Ma'am.
Now you can note down the values. So how much is the answer coming to?
Ma'am, 40%.
Yes, 40% is the correct answer. Net sales आपको 5 लाख दी हुई है क्वेश्चन में, and your indirect expenses, salary and advertisement and interest, indirect expenses है, rent आपकी income है, indirect income 60,000. So you get your net profit ratio to be 40%.
एक्सक्यूज मी मैम।
हाँ जी प्रणत बोलो।
मैम ये इंटरेस्ट इनकम है या एक्सपेंस है, ये कैसे पता चलेगा?
बेटा एक्चुअली इसमें स्पेसिफाइड है, इनकम के साथ रेंट के साथ ब्रैकेट में इनकम दिया हुआ है. सो इट इज स्पेसिफिकली मेंशन्ड इफ a particular item is income or expense. If nothing mentioned, it is expense. If it is income, bracket में mentioned है. ओके वैसे इससे ज्यादा क्लैरिटी से आपके पेपर में मेंशन्ड होगा.
ओके मैम।
ओके so the answer you get is 40%. Let's move to one last question for the day. So, like the questions we solved on gross profit, a bit indirect, please solve. Yes, what is the answer coming to? Or what you people do is you solve the question. By that time, I'll take the attendance and then we can discuss the answer.
Ma'am, 15%.
15 नहीं आ रहा बेटा, 24% आ रहा आंसर. Has anyone else solved? Yes. The Arya is also getting
Yes, ma'am,
24%.
24%.
Yes, the answer is 24%.